The sixth speaker is Miss Yumi Kobayashi, representing Dokkyo University. The title of her speech is To Reach the Real One. To Reach the Real One. Would you now welcome Miss Kobayashi?
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony and distinguished judges, and beautiful questioner in kimono. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this glorious opportunity to deliver my speech here in Japan. When you hear the word eco-tour, what would you imagine? Maybe you think of walking through the forest and see lots of flowers, trees, and plants. Or maybe you think of boarding on a ship to the ocean and see dolphins and whales. Likewise, interaction with nature is an essential element of ecotourism. And since this tourism is seen to be environment friendly, it's expected to expand its field even more and more in the future. Recently, however, as it gets more popular, there appeared many problems that threats nature and ecotourism itself. Rubbish programs, provoking animals, or trampling down the soils and plants, for example. Because of rapid conservation of nature or curiosity, tourists misbehave or do whatever they want to. And this leads to damage or loss of attraction in and around the ecotourism spot. Don't you think it's not eco, but ecotourism? Through my speech today, I will share my idea of how to get rid of ecotourism to reach the real ecotourism. To begin with, let me tell you a story about Yakushima, an advanced area of ecotourism. Since 1993, it was registered as one of the world natural heritage sites. And since then, the number of yearly tourists has rapidly increased from 10,000 to 30,000 in these 20 years. And this remarkable increase of tourists has led to show remarkable damages towards nature. For example, Jomon City, the most popular attraction in Yakushima. It has been trampled down with roots and disturbed peaceful growth. And now, only few limited people are allowed to go closer to the city, while tourists are just watching it from observation deck in the distance. I feel very sad to have we should live like this, because ecotourism is supposed to be a precious opportunity for us to have direct interaction with nature. But this is the result that all of us have made. In my opinion, tourism should be a more worthwhile activity for both tourists and the environment, rather than just entertainment for tourists. If you want to enjoy ecotourism, we are responsible to treasure nature that gives us pleasure. But if we are egoistic towards nature, thinking they are everlasting, we will lose plants, clean lands, and any other attractions to see. This means we may lose huge personal resources that enrich our tours. Then, why these problems arose, although eco-tour is usually conducted with a tour guide who are supposed to be improving the moral of tourists? I think that's because there is no requirement to be an eco-tour guide. So some people become tour guides even without knowledge or experience. Furthermore, if they really have a strong motivation to protect nature, is quite uncertain. Therefore, I would propose that all eco-tour guides should be qualified under certain conditions. At least, conditions should be more than two. 1. Have proper knowledge of guiding. Fundamental guiding skills are of course essential to conduct tours smoothly. And actually, some institutions, such as the Ministry of Environment or Japan Ecotourism Society, regularly hold guided training lectures. Therefore, they should give these chances more often, not only around urban areas, but also around tourist spots. Then, local people have more opportunities to acquire guiding skill. Secondly, very simply but very importantly, they should be familiar to the area, including local people and people from other places. They should be living around the tour spot for more than a certain long period. Because by living there longer, they will know more details about the area, so they can tell and explain to the tourists what to do, where to go, and how to behave. In this way, tourists can enjoy eco tour while following rules, and this leads to ecotourism to be more protective of nature. Lastly, here is my favorite phrase, delivered by Ms. Suzuki. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. This is simple but relevant. After all, no matter if there's a tour guide or not, the most important thing is to reaffirm the value of nature and put it into real action. Individual activities affect a little, but when it piles up, we can generate a big result. Ladies and gentlemen, to sustain ecotourism for the future, your cooperation is needed. Please make your actions reflect your mind. Thank you very much for listening.
We will now have a question and answer period. Ms. Onishi, please. Hello, Yumi-san.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your compliments about my kimono.
It's a big one.
Thank you. I got it from Kyoto. Yeah, actually, it's my very favorite city. Well, anyway, I have a question. So do you like traveling?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Do you usually travel by yourself or do you join a tour?
I like both of them, but I often go to the travel with my boyfriend.
That's nice.
Yes.
Well, how about let's imagine about this, tour. Okay. I think you mainly mentioned about the tour of Japanese tourism, right? What if big international tourists who are not aware of Japanese traditional culture come to Japan and maybe make an action which is a little difficult for Japanese people to understand? So you also mentioned about the lectures for the guide as well. What kind of lectures can be done for these guys to lead the tourists from abroad?
Well, abroad?
Yeah, international tourists who come to Japan.
Okay, maybe in that case, tour guides should be qualified of language skills, of course. But usually in that kind of lectures, they are taught skills of guiding, such as how to communicate or even how to warn the tourists. Because if they are doing something bad and misbehaving, the tour guide should be able to warn them not to do that. But recently, a tour guide without any qualification doesn't really say anything to them and just ignore as if there's nothing happening.
Do you remember the Tsukiji situation?
Sorry,
Tsukiji in Tokyo. They had some restriction for the tourists, right? Because many people touch the fish and this problem happened. What do you think about this?
About touching fish?
Or the bad manners?
Yeah, these small activities are kind of hard things for us to notice. But I really hope each one of you to realize the importance of keeping ourselves in moral, because public things is very important for everyone. So only one person really shouldn't break the rules and break atmosphere, and it's gonna be really rude.
Okay, so the more people come to a certain place, the more rubbish are there. But Disneyland for example, is one of my favorite places to go. But I don't really see rubbish in Tokyo Disneyland. Why is that?
And the keyword is stuff. In the Disneyland, if there's a rubbish, they call it as a Yume no kakera rubbish. Rubbish is pieces of rubbish. Pieces of dream is what they call rubbish here. So all the stuff are always around there, and they are always trying to pick any rubbish as soon as they find it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the system of Disneyland.
I see. Can it be applied to other sightseeing places in Japan?
So
That kind of idea can be applied to other parts of sightseeing area in Japan?
Not really, not around the sightseeing areas.
No? How come?
I'm not really sure, but because there's some cleaners some volunteers there sometimes cleaning their tourist spots, but not really. Stuff cannot be around there for 24 hours, so it is kind of hard.
So when time has come, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kobayashi.